Okay, so I'll show you where things are at. I finally can use a skill, so that's cool. I did a couple other things, but I'll show the skill system first. Can't drag this anymore, but I guess I do want you to be able to drag it. Anyway, you can actually put your skills now on the bar. Can swap them, get rid of them. You're starting just with the 2 skills, and you can see their stuff here. I do want to have tooltip show up eventually, but I haven't gotten there yet. So the only skill that's working right now is the reel skill. So increase reel speed by 120%, and it costs 10 stamina per second. So if I equip up and I turned the collider down so the fish don't actually grab it because I needed to test some stuff, but if I press F now, oh, okay, it's not working. It is working, but this is not correct. Let me redo that. I don't know what I don't know what that thing is, but I figured something was going to be messed up. Okay, so if I leave it like this, and I don't move the skills around, this should be okay. So cast, press F, yep, and then I'm using this skill over here. You could see it kind of highlights itself, and then I also reduces stamina. If I am over to player, you can see the reel speed modifier. I just have another variable when I do reel speed now. Which is just a reel speed modifier, and it's right now it's 1.2 because it's 120%, and I can't open these while I'm fishing now. I did change that. And then I can also show you, hopefully, I'm pressing spacebar now just to drain the stamina so I can show off what happens when you run out. So spacebar plus F, so I am exhausted now, and for some reason that didn't want to sync when I became exhausted, so I gotta fix that. But anyway, that's basically a rudimentary implementation here of the skill system. And also, when I become exhausted, he should stop reeling. So, got some stuff to fix. Yeah, I don't know why. I can figure that out though, but... And also, if I... Well, let me just refresh anyway. So, reel skill, right? If I increase the power... Just keep going. So, these actually do apply. I'm pretty sure. A couple other things didn't work, but I'm pretty sure those actually do apply. Reel speed is 1 right now. Reel speed is 1 because that's 1. So I should zoom. I think it was like 180 or 190. If I go over to player, yeah, 2.19. So it goes faster, and also stamina drains faster too. That might glitch now because it. No, okay, that's fine. But so yeah, so the actual increases work. Kind of a sloppy implementation, I think, so far. But I think the actual skill usage is going to get pretty... Like, right now it's just a coroutine. So, this is the skill, right? This is what's happening when I press this. I have to pass in a button. I have to pass use skill in. So that gets used over here. Use skill also gets called from over here, from the skill controller, which is fine. It's just a couple... How do I get that button? Yeah, but I need to get that button from over here as well. And that's in... and then I have input. Now I did some player inputs. which is somewhere, input system. So I added some more inputs, keyboards, and also this should work with the controller also. The only part that I haven't done anything with is moving when the fish is hooked, or when you have hooked the fish, you have to move the arrow to increase your hook set strength and stuff. So I can't do that with the controller. I'm not really sure how I would do that for now. But so the input, I made another script, player input handler, and I also have game input. So I could just use this. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure this is how I did it in the other project that I followed with CodeMonkey. So I have game input, and this is just as reference to the actual all this stuff. No rebinding or nothing yet, but I did see some videos that I think I can follow and set up the rebinding without too much problems. But basically, when these buttons are performed, then it fires off the event, and my input handler subscribes to all of those events. And then I also have from game input, I have if I'm holding the button. So that's why I need to pass the button in, because some skills will do something while you hold the button, and some will just be a cast. So, this looks a little ugly in my opinion. I have all my events here, and then whatever I'm holding. So every time I add a new button or anything, I have to add something here, which isn't too bad, but then I also have to add it over here. I have to subscribe and do all that. And then also, I added a game state controller just to have a game state. I could do just player state, but I think game state worked out a little better in certain situations, and it should be more static than player state. I might end up having a lot more player states, and my switch statements could become larger. Switch statements, they don't look great. There might be a more better way to do them, but so the start button right now, which is also escape, if a window's open, I wanted to do this for a while. Now you can close windows with escape or start. Maybe I'll do select too, but basically, if I go to, I made a window manager. So now every time, and usually what I'm doing is sidebar, no, crafting window. So all of my windows that can be open and closed, I have just a draggable window script, and crafting window is draggable. Skill builder is not draggable. I'll just turn that off for now. But so all of my windows that open and close have draggable window, and then I'm handling opening and closing them through the draggable window script. And since I'm doing that, I can access the window manager and perform an action there. And I only want you to be able to open windows while the game state is in free move, where your character's not doing anything. So when you have a window open in window manager, I think I just put it in an update. No, it's just when I close the last window. Yeah. So when I open a window and I add it to the list here, and then I change the state to UI interact, and then when I close a window, if the count of the windows that are open, right, it's just a list, if the count of the windows that are open is 0, then I go back to free move. And then this just prevents windows opening while you're fishing, because that would look ugly and stuff, and I can adjust it in the future, but this is how I'm just doing it now. Game state controller, nothing really crazy here. I am also doing, because my player changes state and fires off an event, so I subscribe to that event, and then switch case for how to change the game state based on how my player state changes. And these were all sloppy implementations, but I just wanted something that was working, and hopefully I'll go back and clean some of this stuff up because none of it looks really clean to me. But the real skill is I also need to pass in. I guess I don't need to pass in. Yeah. So it came together a little weird because I originally wanted to use coroutines on the. I need just a base, like a base use skill method, and this is on any real skill that you use is going to use this same method here, and I pass in properties, and that's get passed into your player skill. Your player skills are actually this script here is attached to the prefab, which is actually the specific skill that you're using. So they all have their own properties, which I think I set new, yeah, on setup. So when I set up the player skills, I just create new properties, and then I set up the base properties and set up the upgrade options and all that. And then when I upgrade, it's just referencing the properties in reference to this actual skill, in-game skill. But when I use the skill, I need to have a base implementation of what that skill should do. So if I allow players to customize their skills like a lot, I'm going to have to, this is going to get very big. Or I could have multiple. It's doable, right? This is doable, and I only have to implement it here, and then I only have to implement it once, and then I just added a skill state also to do a little highlighter for cooldown and stuff. So I didn't implement any of the cooldown stuff because I only did the real skill, which has no cooldown, but it shouldn't be too bad to do that. Game state, player skill controller, window managers down here. I think that's the bulk of what I did there. Skill controller, use skill, handle skill. Oh yeah, I guess since I last showed you to actually place the skill, and obviously something messing up here, but I now have an update on the skill controller, which this could be a singleton, but I didn't do that yet. But if I press the mouse button, which I guess I could change that to be an input. If I press the mouse button, I do handle selected skill, and handle selected skill is down here. And first I check if I do not have a skill. Do I have a skill selected already? Like, am I dragging a skill? And if I'm not hovering, if I do not have a skill selected and I'm not hovering over a skill, then just get out of here. It's, I'm not clicking on a skill here. Otherwise, if I don't have a skill selected, then just pick up the skill under cursor. And I created another script, selectable skill here. So selectable skill, I just attach to anything that can have a skill. So in this case, it's your skill slots and then also the skill builder. Asset, skill system. So over here, right, so this thing also needs to, because I want you to be able to drag from there, but I also need a distinction between that and the skills, because I don't want you to be able to put another skill onto this. That wouldn't make sense. So I just added a selected skill, and I try to get the component, and if it's a skill slot, when I get that, which I where was I? Skill controller. Yeah, so and this is just when I place a skill, I think. Place skill. Pick up a skill. Well, this is where I'm calling it a couple different places, but I need an original slot so that way you can swap. But it's a pretty simple, drag and drop script, and I have that here in my skill controller. which is supposed to be my generic script for. I was going to have it use skills too, which it kind of does. It's the only one that is. No, it has this base function, and then I have the slots and everything. I wonder if that's where it's messing up. But that's how you drag and drop skills, and they use them, right? So I call this, and then I call this over here, and then I call this the use skill on the base. So it's not too much abstraction here, but it does originate in the player input handler, which only will happen when I'm in the right thing here. So the buttons, that's kind of a hassle, and especially because if I change their names, if I change the names in here, I have to change all the names over here because button south no longer exists if I change the name. So I wasn't super happy with the button names, so I'll probably have to change it, but like it's a chore, right? I gotta change this over here, I gotta change this over here. So we'll see how that goes. Did I do anything else? Not really. But it's nice to see the skill system finally coming together. I did everything in parts without having a real structured plan, just kind of an idea in my head, and then obviously that's not a great way to go about it. And it took a while, and you know, there was no flow. I had no workflow here. It was just let me implement this, so I can't implement that until this other thing's implemented. So now that I actually finally have, I can use skills here, and it's just a few bugs here that I have to tweak. And then I just have to implement what the skill does in its scriptable object, the base scriptable object of that skill, which is cool. And I have access to the skill properties here, so I can use whatever I want, and the button and the player skill. And the player skill I have just so I can change the skill state. This is a bit of fluff, just to be able to put that little highlight around the skill slot that's being used. I think I need to do that when I swap skills. I think that's what's messing up there. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I can use skills now, and I'll fix. I think the plan really is to fix those little bugs like wrong highlight, and I forget what else happened there, but oh yeah, it doesn't sync. The lure controller doesn't sync. So I need to fix that, and fix that, fix the highlight, and then I have skills, I have fish, and the only thing left to do really is to finalize the actual fishing process and be able to catch the fish. Once I'm catching the fish, now I can get EXP. From EXP I can get skill points, and really I'm running out of things to do before I implement the save system. Fortunately, there's a lot of good resources for save systems. I think I'm going to use Git Amends save system implementation. He has really good videos. They're just usually too high level for me to understand. But the save system, I think I'll be able to follow that, and I'll do a separate project and just kind of see how all that comes together before implementing it in here, because I think it's going to require quite a bit of refactoring. You know, my player has a bunch of stats that need to be saved. All of these stats need to be saved. Levels, skill points, you know, max stamina. My skills have to be saved. Your skill slots and where they're at need to be saved. Fishing log and just a lot of things. Inventory needs to be saved. That one I think is going to be. The items do have an inventory slot, so I'm hoping it goes pretty smooth. But just I'll play one more time here, but that'll be it. But yeah, some steady progress here. Refactors here and there, and some sloppy code, but the project's pretty big, but hopefully not too big. to not be able to go back and change stuff. But I'm getting near the end here, which is nice. But once I have skill, I need fish skills too, which I don't need those right away. But it's going to be pretty cool with fish skills. But yeah, you know, it uses your stamina. It successfully reels faster. So pretty cool. Okay, bye.